Hello friends, if you have trouble writing concrete detailed examples, this video is definitely for you. When writing an example, you may find yourself just repeating what you've just written instead of using details to support your idea. In today's video, I'm gonna share with you guys one simple tip for transforming your abstract example into a detailed one. So the tip I'm talking about is that in your example, you don't create anything new. You simply identify the abstract keywords in the sentences you've already written and then make those abstract keywords more specific using real-life examples. Let's look at this question in IELTS 14 General Training. By the way, General Training Test 2 questions may appear in academic tests. The growth of online shopping will one day lead to all shops in towns and cities closing. Do you agree or disagree? So my opinion is that I disagree that all offline shops will close their doors one day. And my first reason is that offline stores offer customers experiences that are unavailable online. Now, before we give an example, we can first explain this topic sentence a little bit. What kind of experience can offline stores offer that online stores cannot? Offline stores can offer social experiences, don't they? This is because these stores are more than just places to shop. They are also where people socialize. Now, we really need a detailed example, otherwise this paragraph will be too short and abstract. Guys, I'm not saying it's easy to write a detailed example, but it's really not that hard. All you need to do is identify the abstract keywords in the sentences that you've already written, and then make those abstract keywords specific by asking yourself what questions. So, offline stores. What offline stores exactly? Speaking of socialization, I immediately think of coffee shops like Starbucks. Places to shop. What do people buy at a Starbucks store? They buy coffee and drinks, don't they? Socialize. How do they socialize? They talk, they chat with each other. Sometimes I ask myself how questions, but most of the time I find that asking what questions is the best way to come up with details. We can also make this part more specific. What do they talk about? All sorts of things. They may meet there and talk about work stuff or catch up on life. But since the example should be about socialization, catching up on life would be better. Now we have 3 details. Let's write our example. For instance, at Starbucks, people meet friends and talk about their lives while enjoying their drinks. Look how detailed this example is. And don't forget that in our example, we can compare offline stores to online stores as we did in the topic sentence. When writing about online stores, it doesn't matter whether you use Amazon or eBay as an example. The important thing is that your Amazon or eBay example needs to contain details. How can we come up with details? We identify the abstract parts and then ask ourselves what questions. So we buy coffee and drinks at Starbucks. What do we buy on Amazon? We buy coffee beans on Amazon. Placing a coffee bean order through an impersonal internet store such as Amazon will never allow this level of satisfying social interaction. Just like the Starbucks example, this Amazon example is also full of details. Now let's end the paragraph with a conclusion sentence. This means that there will always be a place for retailers who offer socialization. As you can see, the key to writing a detailed example is to include details like meeting friends, talking about their lives, enjoying their drinks, and placing a coffee bean order. And how can we come up with details like this? Well, we identify the abstract ideas we've already written and then make them specific by asking ourselves what questions or how questions. By doing so, you will not only have a detailed example, but also your entire paragraph will have only one main topic. Since you are not writing new ideas, you are simply using details to support what you've just written. And having only one main topic in every paragraph is so important for getting a 7 or higher on the writing tests. That's it for this paragraph. You can read the full essay on my site IELTSessaybank.com. The link will be in the description down below. Now, let me give you another example. This essay question is from IELTS 17. Let's read the question first. Nowadays, a growing number of people with health problems are trying alternative medicines and treatments instead of visiting their usual doctor. Do you think this is a positive or a negative development? This is a tough question. Let's see how using detailed examples to support what we've already written can make the writing process easier. So my opinion is that the increasing popularity of alternative medicines and treatments is a negative development. And one of my reasons is that non-conventional medical treatments would not be as useful in emergency situations. Non-conventional medical treatment is a synonym for alternative medicines and treatments. Let's first expand this topic sentence using reasons. They take time to work, whereas conventional treatments are developed to take effect fast. So they take time to work. Why is this a bad thing? It's a bad thing because if people with conditions or symptoms that need to be relieved right away are for alternative therapies, they might miss the window of opportunity to cure their diseases. Now, in order to come up with an example full of details, we need to first identify the abstract parts of this explanation. People with conditions or symptoms that need to be relieved right away. Remember how we can make it concrete? We can make it concrete by asking ourselves what questions? What condition exactly? I don't know many medical terms, but at least I know tumor and cancer. Need to be relieved right away. What treatment might tumor patients need right away? They may require immediate surgery to remove their tumor. Consider patients who require tumor removal as soon as possible. This part is also quite abstract. A window of opportunity is a period of time during which some action can be taken that will achieve a desired outcome. So what opportunities specifically might they lose? They might lose the opportunity to remove the tumor when it can still be removed. If they delay surgery in the hopes that a non-mainstream treatment would work, the tumor might grow and spread to other parts of their bodies. This paragraph is done. Hopefully, by now, writing examples has become easier for you. Remember, all you need to do is identify the abstract parts of what you've already written and then use concrete details to support them. And how can we come up with details? We come up with details by asking ourselves what questions or how questions. Some people are like, oh, this is so hard. I can't think of any example. Let me tell ya, as long as you have life experience, which is something you obviously have, then you can come up with examples. Let me show you. Let's look at this question. Some ex-prisoners commit crimes after being released from prison. What do you think is the cause? How can it be solved? So this paragraph answers the second question of how we can solve the problem of ex-prisoners committing crimes after they are released from prison. Let's look at this example. For example, the Chen-Zuckerberg Initiative launched a program in some American prisons that teaches prisoners how to code, and some of them even went on to work for technology companies after their release. Some people are like, oh, I don't know the Chen-Zuckerberg Initiative. I can't write examples like this. You don't need to know the Chen-Zuckerberg Initiative. All you need to do is make what you've already written more specific. So here we have, there should be rehabilitation programs in place to teach inmates valuable skills that will help them find a job and become productive members of society after incarceration. In the example, I used how to code to support valuable skills and used the work for technology companies to support productive members of society. All it matters are details like this. Whether we mention the Chen-Zuckerberg Initiative is not important at all. We could simply say that, for example, some prisons teach prisoners how to code, and some of these people have gone on to work for technology companies after they are released. You are definitely capable of writing examples like this one using your own knowledge and life experience. It doesn't necessarily have to be coding skills. You could use culinary skills or any other skills that you feel comfortable writing about. If we use culinary skills, we can say some prisons teach inmates culinary skills, and some of these people have gone on to work for 5-star hotels after their release. Alright, so far the format we've used is to start with a topic sentence, then provide explanations, and then support what we've already written with an example. But do you find that sometimes it's so hard to explain your topic sentence? Don't worry, the explanation part is actually not 100% necessary. You can actually directly use an example to support your topic sentence. I learned this technique from L. Simon. He calls it an example-led paragraph. Now, I'm going to show you how to write an example-led paragraph using this question in IELTS 17. Let's read the question. It's important for people to take risks, both in their professional lives and their personal lives. Do you think the advantages of taking risks outweigh the disadvantages? So my opinion is that I think the advantages of taking risks outweigh the disadvantages. In body paragraph 1, I'm going to discuss one of the advantages. Here's my topic sentence. Making a risky move may hurt a person short term. But why may making a risky move hurt a person short term? I really can't explain. It's not a big deal. I will skip the explanation part and directly provide an example. The method is the same. I will simply make abstract parts concrete by asking myself what questions. What kind of risky move exactly? This is so easy. It could be quitting a job you hate or ending an unhealthy relationship. Hurt a person short term. Let's make it concrete. How can quitting a job you hate hurt your short term? You may lose the income needed to sustain your current expensive lifestyle. How may end an unhealthy relationship hurt your short term? Well, you may lose the financial support that your partner provides. You may have to find a new place to live and cover expenses like rent, utilities, and groceries on your own. Developing this topic sentences suddenly becomes so easy if we directly write an example without giving an explanation. Here's my example. Take, for example, adults who are psychologically controlled by their parents because they still receive financial support from them. If they stop relying on their parents so that they can be free to go after their dreams, they may face the short-term downside of losing the comforts their parents' money provides. The same can be true of making a career change that involves a big pay cut. This is the risk they take, and this is the short-term loss they may face. This is an example full of details. This paragraph is not finished, but I'm gonna stop here. You can read the full essay on my site. The link will be in the description down below. I know a lot of you guys have trouble developing your paragraphs. I hope this video has made that easier for you. Remember that the goal of writing an example is not to create something new. The goal is to use details to back up what you've previously written, and we can ask ourselves what or how questions to help us come up with details. In this way, not only will our example be concrete and specific, but our entire paragraph will be unified into one single topic. And don't forget that if you have trouble using reasons to support your topic sentence, you can skip the explanation and directly give an example. That's it for today. If you learned something useful, please consider subscribing so that you won't miss new videos like this. Thanks for watching. See you soon.